Hi, so in this slides, I'm going to present the chapter 2 of the system book, and the most essential parts that you should take with you from this is that we're going to talk about the economic cycle and business economics, types of companies, and types of ownership. So after this video, you should be able to have a broader and better understanding of these three topics. The economic cycle. The economic cycle contains 5 areas: companies, households, banks, public institutions, and the outside external of DK, external of Denmark. Together these comprise the macroeconomic environment that influenced the company. The economic cycle, goods and services. If we here have company, here we have the public, here we have household, and here we have abroad foreign countries. We see companies export to the foreign countries, but from foreign countries we also see an import. We see exchange of goods, services from the public to companies, but also from companies, goods and services to the public. That could be if a consultancy makes a living advising the government or municipality on a certain thing, then that would be the goods and services that companies provide the public sphere. Then we have from the public sphere the service that goes to households, but also from households to the public. We also see exchange of work. That means that many people in Denmark are employed in the public sphere, and that means that when they go to work, their costs are paid by the government, for example. Yes, then we see from the households, we see from the foreign countries, we see import. If you, for example, buy something from Amazon or another service, you will import goods that will take a place in your household. Then we have from households, companies, we have exchange of goods, services, and we have also workload. So if you work in the household, work in the private sphere, you work in businesses. Money flow is kind of the same, but if we have the foreign countries here, we have export income to companies, then we have import goods to the foreign countries, and we have a loan from the bank, we have fees of these loans, and we have some savings in the bank, and we have the household savings, the import fees. Then we have salary and exchange. And then we have tax and fees to the public, from household to the public. So we see, and there we have from companies, we have tax and sales tax, MOMS, and other fees. But we also have public spending and the public would also buy goods from companies. That's of course a major thing. If, for example, this part is very dependent on private businesses, but they of course also are very much dependent on the private businesses are of course also very much dependent on the private businesses. So there's kind of an exchange there, and both parties matter. Household economic cycle task. This is a task we're going to do in class. Types of companies. We have production company. Production, typically B2B companies where you produce something that you don't sell directly, but you have others selling it. Trading companies, companies that resell goods. Wholesale trading, company that sells to other companies. Retail trading would be companies like Føtex, Netto, companies that sell to consumers, example. Service companies, companies that produce and sell services instead of products, examples. We have an example of a chain of distribution. We have the production of the raw material. We have the actual production here. We have the wholesale here, and here we have the retail. Production companies produce, manufacture the goods that they sell, buy raw material and prepare components from the suppliers, flow of goods, supplier, production department, stock of finished goods. Trading companies, supplier, warehouse, shop, customers. Service companies produce and sell services instead of products. Company functions. I just skipped some of the tasks that we can do in class, but company functions: suppliers, purchasing, storage function, sales function, finance function, and customers. Production company, same as for trading companies and for more function connected with the production process. Company ownership, if we start talking about that, have the sole proprietorship companies, which is called enkeltmandsvirksomhed in Denmark, partnerships, EVS, public limited company, private limited company, other forms also total. This was from 2013, but the figures will be higher today. Sole proprietorship, owned by a single individual. Advantages: easy to set up, rapid decision-making process, relatively easy to take loans. Disadvantages: risk losing everything, personal liability, may be difficult to acquire enough capital to run the company. Partnership, owned by 2 or more people. Advantages: relatively easy to set up. Disadvantages: risk losing everything, joint and several liability. We're going to talk more about this, of course, in class, but the idea is that you kind of depend on the other one. Entrepreneurial company, EVS, 1 or more owners, must have 25% of profit, up to 50,000 equity capital. Advantages, but this has just been put down to 40,000. Advantages: low equity requirement, low personal risk. Disadvantages: many requirement that is public accounts, difficult to take loans. Other forms: anpartsselskab ApS, aktieselskab AS. Much more about these later in your class. If you're already curious, go look it up at virk.dk.